some notes behind me. But without any stops on it. Yeah, that's a tracker. That's a sample of a piece of the tracker wood. It's very flexible, but once it's hooked up, it's not flexible. It's very strong. And with all the stops off, I have 3 keyboards. Any of you ever take piano lessons at all? No? Okay. Well, a piano, of course, has how many keyboards? A piano has 1 keyboard, right? Just that one long keyboard. This one has 3 keyboards, and for the hands, and a keyboard for the feet. The pedals down here can play a melody. The main reason for pedals, though, are for the deeper sounds of the organ, which we'll find out in a minute. But the organist chooses the stops that are here according to what sounds he wants the organ to make on a certain piece of music. It can be full organ, or it can be very, very soft. One of the softer sounds.
From up here, it almost sounds like it's coming from the front.
Yeah, right. Because, in fact, this little lid right here can be completely closed if I want it all the way down, and then the sound is going completely out that way, and I like it that way so I can keep track of what it's sounding like. The size of the pipes. Have you gone into the size of the pipes?
A little.
Okay. I believe you've talked about a rank. Okay. A rank of pipes is a whole set for each stop. And on this organ, we have 37 stops. And there's, for the keyboard, there's 52, I think, notes.
61.
61, okay. Yeah, okay, that's right. It's 88 on the piano, 61 on the organ. 61 notes, so there would be 61 pipes for each stop on the organ that is in the keyboards. There's 30, some organs have 32 pedals, this one has 30. So there'd be a pipe for each one of those. So somewhere in there between figuring 30 and 61, you would have that times 37 would be the number of pipes in the organ. And they range anywhere from the size of this pencil, or maybe even smaller, to that big square piece of wood along the back wall there, each of the big wooden pipes, which are maybe and of course the bigger the pipe, the lower the sound is going to be. The smaller the pipe, the higher the sound. Let's see, let me test your hearing. How far up here can you hear this? Anything? There's the highest one. Can you hear that? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's the highest one on the organ. Then, you just have your choices of 4 families of tone. Did you go into that? The 4 families?
Just the names, that's all.
Okay. The diapasons are the principal. is the sound that you think of when you hear an organ. It doesn't imitate any other sound, it's the organ sound. And they happen to be right along here in front of me. Now, the longest one, and that's an 8-foot stop. And in the metal pipes, the 8-foot stop will be 8 feet long. That thing just goes on up through that tower, and the one looking at me right there is that. And then they go from side to side. And so forth. I meant to have the work lights turned on in the organ so you could see the inside, but that'll give you an idea. Each one of those pipes just makes one sound, and they all are speaking pipes. They aren't what we call dummy pipes. The ones down front that you see are dummy pipes. They don't make any sound. They're left over from the previous organ that was installed on in the chambers on either side down front, and it's not there anymore. So the principal sounds, then you have the flutes, and you can get all sorts of sounds with flutes at the organ. Strings, which are supposedly when they started making these, they were supposed to be trying to imitate the sounds of a group of violins playing, or the strings of an orchestra playing. And, but you can tell it's not that. Finally, the reeds are the fourth family of tones. And you have solo reeds, and you have chorus reeds. And we have an oboe here that's supposed to sound like an oboe. And a clarinet. Then we have the chorus reeds, which can be a solo reed, like we have a couple of trumpets. And another one. Then you start putting all those sounds together to make various sounds for the organ. If you're going to start with the softest and go to the loudest, we won't take time to do that this morning, but let's just start building up the principal chorus first, and we'll go from there. We were back to the 8-foot principal, this thing that I showed you before. Just called principal, but is labeled 4 foot. When it means the longest pipe in that rank will be 4 feet long, and it also tells me that it's going to sound an octave higher than the 8 foot. Now, an octave is 8 notes, okay? Everybody, you know, okay. So here I'll play the 8-foot, and I'll add the 4. You hear that octave come in? And then I can add a 2, and a 2 would do what? Go up 2 octaves. And then there's a mixture, which is a combination of pipes. In this case, it's 4 ranks of pipes speaking at once, that the organ builder has determined what he wants to emphasize on the tone build-up. So there's the principal chorus on the great. And then you start adding the principals from the next division, which is the swell division. And you couple them together. And you put a little pedal in with it. And you're well on your way toward the full organ sound, but now you can start adding reeds. And at the last, we've added a section on the organ that's electronic, and it's in the pedals. And so now I have more stops available to me in the pedals. And at the end there, I added two stops that are if they were pipes, so they would be 32 feet long. And so they go down 3 octaves. And it adds this sound. This is without that. Fortunately, my congregation loves the organ line, and I try to let them know it's there every once in a while. The last Sunday, not yesterday, a week ago, Easter, we celebrated Easter, and we had a good time.
For about 10 minutes.
Okay.
About, y'all just come up close to the side where you can see what he's doing, not just hearing what he's doing. You can shorter to the front, please.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all put me in the back.
You've heard that before.
All right. When I was talking about stops, you all know the saying about we just have to pull out all the stops if we're going to make this work. You've heard coaches say that. Well, the coaches don't know that what they're talking about is an organ, but I don't think they do. But in order, it doesn't make any sound at all now because I don't have any stops out. But as I pull out a stop, it'll play up here, but it won't play there. It'll play here and it won't play there because all of those stops are just for this manual. It's called a manual instead of a keyboard. All these stops down here are for the pedal. And of course, they won't play anywhere else on the keyboard. And you can couple the keyboard down to the pedals, but that's the only way you can do that. Stops over here, these with the black on them, are for the grade, that principal chorus I was talking about. And these stops here, you pull them out for sounds that you want on the positive, which is this little section back here. Now you have what they call couplers. This one that's down already is coupling this manual to this manual. And you can actually see, well, you can actually see the key moving. And then I can also couple this manual. And being mechanical, each one adds a little more heaviness to the touch. It's not bad, but you just tell that you've got all three keys working at the same time from a weight standpoint of what you're pushing down. There are a couple of things that you find on this organ that you don't find on many. And unfortunately, one of them it's still working, but it needs a little work on it. It's called a Zimbelstern, and when I push this down, if you can see up there, there's like a star. It looks like a star up there on top of everything. It starts going around. Okay. Now what it's doing is it's turning. It's got those bells, and it's turning a piece that has wood that goes around and strikes several pieces of wood, striking the bell. Now, if that thing were really working completely correctly, you wouldn't hear it going ding, 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 clunk every once in a while. Ding, 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 clunk. The clunk isn't part of the thing. The other thing I have is this. It has to warm up. The birds. Have no idea what I'm supposed to do with those birds. I have tried to figure out a piece of music that the birds sound good on. I once tried playing something called Spring Song and using that, and it just didn't come off right at all. I think the people were more amused than entertained by it. But evidently that's part of a Baroque instrument. I have never heard anybody tell me what they use it for. And if anybody ever finds out, I would like for them to tell me. In the meantime, that's what all this is about. Now, I didn't tell you about, there's a division, the swell division, is in a box back there. It's a large box. You can't see it very well. But it has shutters on the front of it, and it again is mechanical. This pedal up here controls that box. Right now it's fully open, and if I pull it back like this, the shutters will shut in front of it, and it makes the sound get quieter, or if it's vice versa, it gets louder. We'll start with it loud. one section. We call this under expression. It's just those shutters that open and close, and you're shutting it up in its own little box up there so that you don't hear it as loud. Is there a question? How many?
We got about 3 minutes. If you
Okay.
have questions, now's the time.
Okay, yeah, any questions? And remember, no question's a dumb question with me. You either have an idea or want to know something, or you don't. So,
How would you fix like the ones under here if they break the little wood things that connect it?
very good. We have had to fix things inside here where we took the back off, and in order to do that, we had to take all that flooring up where you're standing right now. There's screws that come up and screws here that come up, and you just pick the floor up and sit aside somewhere and work on it. And if you could see inside there, you would just see all those sticks. They go in and then they fasten to something, and they go up and fasten to something and end up. It's really quite an engineering feat to build one of these tracker organs, because everything has to fit right in place or it won't work. You can't have one little piece of wood sticking somewhere, or something on the organ won't work. The only thing that is electric on the organ is the blower that makes the wind. It's electric, powered by an electric motor. And before electricity in Europe, you know, with the large organs, they had people who were employed to be wherever the pumps were to pump them by hand. And the organist would have a little button or something that would ring a bell, and if it was time for something for the organ to do, he'd ring that bell down there and they'd start pumping air and occasionally they might fall asleep during the sermon, and they wouldn't pay attention to the bell, and there wouldn't be any air for the organ for the final hymn, which did not make them happy.
Why don't you playing something for us, if you would, please?
Yeah.
As we finish up.
Okay, I'm just going to play what I played for a postlude yesterday.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you all for coming.
Well, the one question, when was the church built, the building? I thought it was 1850s?
18,
40s?
1870 sticks in my mind for some reason or other,
Okay.
but it may have been before then.
Okay.
When shoot, the president of the Confederacy,
Davis.
yeah, when he brought everybody to town here, he worshipped here,
Okay.
and a lot of the people in this building. This balcony was not here until the organ was installed. Before the organ was installed, this was all gone. It was just downstairs.
Thank you.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
y'all come back.
Appreciate your time.
Yes, thank